Blanding's turtle.
See what we find today.
First turtle that I found.
We have to cross this river.
Well, this one isn't a Blanding's turtle.
Oh no. Not a shell. And I dropped them in the river.
What's up with that?
I'm here today at the Ontario Legislative Buildings with a question. As we speak, the Ontario government works to enact Bill 5, the Protect Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act of 2025. More like protect the wallets of wealthy investors by undermining our scientists and destroying our Environment Act of 2025. Let's take a closer look at the details of Bill 5. Bill 5 proposes the implementation of special economic zones in which the government and developers can make up their own rules about environmental regulations. Scientists know all too well that conservation is a difficult process, and created these rules to ensure that habitat that is essential for species survival is protected. Unfortunately, many developers are only thinking about the bottom line, not about the habitat they are destroying. Simultaneously, as this bill is being pushed through the assessment process, the little Blanding's turtle is struggling for its species survival. Hello everyone and good afternoon. So I have arrived at Evergreen Brickworks to look for some turtles here. Specifically, we're looking for the Blanding's turtles. Named after Dr. William Blanding, this species is endangered here in Ontario. So let's see what we find today.
This little guy is the first turtle that I found. I believe it's a Midland painted turtle. Next up was this bigger guy.
Also not a Blanding's turtle, but very cute.
My guess is that this guy is a much older Midland painted turtle, but he has so few visible markings it's very hard to tell. If we have any turtle experts, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. These could be map turtles, again another difficult identification to make from this great a distance. I think the furthest one is another Midland painted turtle. Well, this one isn't a Blanding's turtle, but I am not sure if I can accurately ID it from the clip. Maybe another map turtle? This big guy is a snapping turtle. Just look at the size of him. There are some other turtles here too, but I don't see any of our elusive Blanding's turtles. Another Midland painted turtle. This guy looks like a spiny soft-shell turtle. Look, another snapper.
It's so big.
Look at the size of him.
That was it for the first day of the turtle hunt. I was so tired after coming home that I forgot to film an outro, so I hope that this suffices. Moving on to the next day. Alrighty, so we're on the hunt for the Blanding's turtles. Outside the Toronto Zoo. The bus dropped me off really far from the entrance to the park, so it's time for a walk. Hopefully we find something. So it looks like, according to my map, we have to cross this river in order to get to where the turtles are supposed to be. Alright, so we got two possible options to cross. So I think this could be a possibility, or this one over here. Fashion. I don't know if I'll include this in the video because it's still very embarrassing, but I was literally just sitting down to put my shoes back on after crossing the river, and I dropped them in the river. So I found the ponds. There's a pond here and then a really big one over there, and I think this is the best possible habitat for finding the turtles. So let's have a look. Oh no. I can see several turtles in the middle of the swamp, but the swamp is way too deep and way too large for me to go to the middle of the swamp. But for now, let's have lunch. Let's look at the facts, starting with the Blandings turtles. These little cuties call our beautiful province of Ontario home. Their range primarily spans the Great Lake Basin, but they also have isolated populations in Canada and the US. Currently, the Ontario government lists the Blanding turtle species as threatened, as of their most recent assessment in May 2017. But what does it mean for a species to be threatened?
According to the government of Ontario, a species is threatened when it lives in the wild in Ontario and is likely to become endangered if future steps are not taken.
So what great threats are these little creatures facing? One of the biggest risks to all species is us, humans. Specifically, the Blandings turtle is suffering from habitat fragmentation and loss. Their habitat is being destroyed by us humans, as well as fragmented, meaning it's been broken apart into these little jigsaw pieces that aren't big enough on their own to support their lives. These turtles are at a particular risk because their ranges are bigger than most turtles. They actually travel hundreds of meters to and from their bathing areas, as well as to and from their mating and nesting areas. So let's get this straight. The Ontario government is proposing a bill that will allow for the destruction of the habitat of the Blandings turtle. I have just one question for Premier Doug Ford. What's up with that?
Now that we know a little more about this species, let's continue our search.
To find these rare and special turtles. The ideal habitat for the Blandings turtle is shallow marshes or shallow lakes, just like this one here. As you can see behind me, there are many, many ponds. Perfect habitat for these little guys. Found a shell. The Blandings turtle is very easily identifiable. Just look for its yellow chin and its yellow neck. The Blandings turtle is known for its very domed shell. It looks almost like an army helmet. It also has yellow flecks throughout. Sometimes, due to age or weathering, these flecks are a lot fainter.
Now, back to the search.
These turtles are just waking up from a long hibernation. Blandings turtles hibernate under the mud from late October to late May. Okay guys, there's a Blandings turtle right there. You can see it's a really small one. Let's see if its head pops back up. There it goes. Can you guys see him?
Unfortunately, I didn't find any more Blandings turtles, but I did find a few other cute creatures along the way that I wanted to show you. That's it for me. I hope to see you all again in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay curious.